If you're the type of person who wants to excel, the type of person who wants to grow, who wants to make a difference, because we do make a difference in people's lives. A few $100s per year, a few $1,000s per year could mean the world of difference in monthly disposable income for our clients. We make a huge difference in people's lives. Dalimonte, Vice President of Operations. Prior to joining EIP, I had a business of my own, and a lot of my friends and former colleagues will ask me why I gave that up to join EIP. And at first I had to think about it a little bit because it is a little bit unusual. When business was growing, it was doing really well, but I had this one client who was my largest client at the time, and I was always impressed from the beginning how they were different than most businesses. For one, I mean, they focused on people first, and then profit and processes and all those things. And that's a little bit backwards than most of the other companies out there. So that was very interesting to me. But number two, I saw that people really loved being at work and being around each other. And it was obvious, it wasn't fake. You know, so you don't get that in most companies. And I knew that this is the kind of place that I could be a part of if the opportunity ever presented itself. And after working with EIP for a few months, helping recruit, helping do leadership training, and just helping people develop themselves personally and professionally, I was offered the opportunity to come on board in a full-time capacity. At the end of the day, I realized that it was more in line with where I was going and with my personal values than my business was. And actually became a no-brainer. It's a great company, it's going places, and I wanted to be a part of it. So what makes EIP special? For one, the focus on people, as I mentioned earlier. The focus on people over profits, over processes is really important. Aside from that, it's the constant, I guess, desire to change and be better. That's the idea here. It's not always easy. In fact, usually it's pretty difficult. But that's what makes us better. And when you put a whole bunch of people together in one environment to have that similar attitude, and that becomes your company culture, then look out. Why would someone want to come to EIP? Well, let's start with the obvious. Financially, that's why most people are out looking for a new opportunity. And on the sales side, it's a no-brainer because the opportunity to make money is huge. We have agents who are making $200,000 per year. We have agents who we've recently given Rolexes to. We have a bunch of agents who go on an annual trip that's all-inclusive, 5-star, just for doing their job and excelling at it. So if the financial benefits are huge. Aside from that, we have the perks that go along with it, the benefits packages and all those things that people expect. But even outside of sales, all of our people are compensated well for what they do, above average for what they do. So financial is always the first thing people are interested in, and we are no exception. We pay very well. But besides all that, the culture is by far the most important thing that we look for in a new applicant. We want to make sure that one, you are going to complement or help us improve the culture. And number two, we want to make sure that you're going to be motivated on those days where it's challenging. We all have challenges and issues outside of the office. That's life. We have to deal with that. And if we're in a place that we don't enjoy, a culture that's not meant for us, not to say that a person's bad or they're just not right for the environment. If you're in the wrong place for who you are, then those days when you're stressed out, when life happens, you're not going to show up. You're going to be distracted, and you're not going to perform at your peak. So we want to make sure, and in fact, it's our responsibility to make sure that the people that come into this team are a good culture fit for this environment. So one of the most common questions I get from new applicants is, what does it take to be successful here? And it's actually very simple. Experience does matter, but it's not the most important thing. We want the raw ingredients because our processes, our ways work. They've worked for many, many people, and it's not that complicated. It really comes down to 4 things. Number one is you have to be coachable. Our processes, our training works. And if you are a coachable person, that means that you take feedback from your coach and you go out there and try to implement it. And if it works, awesome. If it doesn't work, then guess what? Go back to the coach and say, hey, this didn't go right. What can I do now? Be the #1 advocate for your success. That's what coachability is. So you have to be coachable. Number 2, you have to have attention to detail. This is insurance. There's a lot of rules, there's a lot of regulations, a lot of the information looks and sounds the same, so you have to pay attention to the details. Number 3 is memory. You have to have a good memory or be organized enough so that you can compensate for that. Because if you can't retain all this information that we're showing you, then it's not valuable to you and you're less likely to be successful. Number 4, the most important thing, and this is just life in general, especially in today's world, is resiliency. And resiliency is having thick skin, not taking things personally. Because there's going to be times when you're right on and you get recognition, you get props, but there's also going to be times where you were way out of line and you just didn't follow the process. And tactfully, your coach or supervisor is going to correct you on that. You can't take those things personally. Growth-minded people welcome that kind of feedback. They don't take it personally. So you have to be resilient, and especially if you're in a sales role, but really that just applies to people and to life in general. Elite Insurance Partners is going places. We are growing. We are going to become the top company in our industry. There's no doubt about it. And being here locally in the Northern Pinellas area, there is a ton of opportunity for people who usually have to drive 45 minutes to an hour to get to some similar opportunity. So if you're sitting there thinking about insurance, if you're thinking about this company and the culture and everything that you've heard here and you wonder, I wonder if that's the place for me, don't hesitate. Apply. Give yourself that opportunity to create the life that you're looking for. Between the people, between the training, between the coaching, the accountability, and the money, you have nothing to lose, but possibly the greatest opportunity of your life. Elite Insurance Partners is a fantastic company, and I highly encourage you to check us out.